The very first step of removing a faucet is just very simple. You just unscrew it off the wall. Now, some of them might be caulked, so you may want to take a blade, just cut around it to loosen it up, and just keep turning it counterclockwise. Depending on the existing faucet that's installed, there you may find a slip ring, or in this case, you have this plastic fitting on here that is used to screw on the faucet itself. It's usually attached with either a screw or Allen key type, or this one in particular was attached with a star bit. It is important to note that when installing a new screw in there, it's a set screw, you want to make sure you don't over tighten it because you can puncture right through the pipe. I'll go over this later in the video. However, I did notice that it was over tightened by the original installers, so we're going to try to avoid that as well. Let's go to the unboxing video to see what the components of the faucet that we got. The new faucet we're installing is a Delta faucet. I got it off on Amazon. I'll post a link into the description below so you could check it out yourself. Now, originally I had a 7-inch faucet. We're going down to, I believe this is a 5.5. In our case, it will work. Unboxing this video, the first thing we see is the instructions for the installation. So we're gonna read them over later on, right before the installation. So the only thing I don't like about this faucet, it has plastic threading. If you over tighten that could crack and you cannot replace it. You just gotta buy a new faucet. I've done that. This is the second one I'm doing. The next component is basically the fitting that goes on it, where the faucet screws onto. If you look carefully, you see there was a little bit of a gap between the two threads. That's because you could actually trim it down to the right size, which we will have to do in our case because it is a shorter. Now that's a gasket that's going to go right inside that fitting to prevent any water leaks. We also get an Allen key. We have other components on there for different methods of installations. It was nice of them to provide plumber's tape for us. And obviously we have the slip ring. That's going to go right over the copper pipe, and it gets secured with a little Allen wrench with a set screw. And we're back to the installation process. First thing we're going to do is we're going to slip the slip ring on, and you want to push it all the way back as much as possible. You could tell it's a bit of a tight fit, which is good. It will help with water prevention. I mentioned earlier that the original installers put this over tightened the set screw, so they left a little indentation onto the copper pipe. That's why I put this the little set screw on top this time, and I'm going to secure it just so I don't puncture right through the pipe and cause any possible leaks. Now that the slip ring is installed, what we're gonna have to do is install this adapter. That's what they call it in the manual. But before we do so, I mentioned earlier, we're gonna have to trim it up a little bit because this adapter is a little too long for our application. So where you see that little gap between the two threads, we're gonna go ahead and cut it. This was done behind the scenes. We'll check you back later. And we're back. We cut the little piece off, a little knob, that way allows for the spout to kind of screw on and kind of go all the way back to the wall. If you didn't, you would have had a large gap between the spout and the wall. So now we put the rubber washer in, so when it gets screwed in, it creates a nice watertight seal on this. I'm just cleaning it up of any debris from the when we cut it. I used a jigsaw to cut it because I didn't have any hand saw or anything like that. It's a dangerous method. You don't want to do that. However, that's what I had working with. Don't try this at home. Let's get this thing screwed on right now. We don't want to over tighten it as well. It is a plastic piece. We want to get it as tight as possible. Make sure it's sitting proper. Prior to doing so though, one thing I almost forgot, we got to put plumber's tape. When we're putting plumber's tape, you want to make sure you get at least 3 revolutions around it. You want to get about 3 layers on it just to make sure that it's sitting nice and snug, it's watertight. Now that we got the adapter on, let's turn the water on and test if there's any leaks coming from behind it. We don't want that to come up later on once the faucet or the spout, whatever you want to call it, is installed. Looking good so far. The time has come to install the actual spout. We're going to put a little more plumber's tape on the adapter now because we are going to be screwing the spout into it. Again, you want at least 3 revolutions on it. Make sure that it seals everything properly. Now it's a matter of just screwing the spout right onto the adapter that we installed. The sprayer that we will be using is also a Delta sprayer. I got it off of Amazon as well. Link will be in the description below. It has 7 different spray settings on it. I don't know if you need those, but why not? Let's get it open. This sprayer comes with 3 major components. That's really it. It has the shower head itself, the hose, and what it has is a shower head attachment that connects to the fitting and the copper pipe that's usually above you where the water comes down. But in this particular application, we don't need it. We're installing the hose right directly into the spout. So let's put that aside, and we're gonna kind of speed run through this installation. Now that the shower hose and the shower head have been all put together, we're going to put some plumber's tape onto the spout where the hose is going to get attached to, and we're just going to screw on the hose, and that will conclude the installation of the shower hose. Now, just to go over, we do have another step here. I'm not going to get into the video, it's already long enough, but we're gonna have to mount the shower head onto the wall. I did buy a shower head mount, which we just basically uses 2 screws with some anchors, drill some holes, throw some anchors into it, and mount the holder into place. That's basically it. That's the installation of a new faucet with a shower head, and I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it was fairly long. Give it a like.